When I was 12, my parents had 2 talks with me. One was the usual birds and bees, and the other was about what to do if a cop stopped me. My parents haven't raised me to fear the police, just to be smart around them. They told me it is not smart to move while a cop has his back to you. Khalil does. He comes to his store. It's not smart to make a sudden move. Khalil does. He opens the driver's door. You okay, Star? 1. Khalil's body jerks. Blood splatters from his back. He holds onto the door to kick himself upright. 2. Khalil gasps. 3. Khalil looks at me stunned. He falls to the ground. Officer 115 yells at me, pointing the same gun he killed my friend with. And I put my hands up. I've seen it happen over and over again. A black person gets killed just for being black and no hell breaks loose. Why does this happen? Is it because of thug life? Tupac was a person who gave the meaning to thug life. Thug life stands for the hate you give. It is about how the system of society oppresses people of color and the minority. It is about the opportunities taken away from the oppressed groups. It is about where society places them at the bottom of the ladder, making it harder for the oppressed to climb it. Star is always cognizant of the color of her skin. She goes to a predominantly white school because her hometown does not have the same opportunities that a white privileged school has. The minority schools don't have the same resources in the more affluent neighborhoods. We still have segregated schools, and once we plead for school integration, we criminalize the students of color that want to come to our successful schools. Nicole Hannah-Jones, in her podcast episode, The Problem We All Live With, talks about school integrations and the results of it. She mentions how there's evidence that school integration works, yet the parents' reaction to the integration process revives racist sentiments.
Talking about the Normandy School District losing their accreditation because of their buildings, or their structures, or their teachers. We are talking about violent behavior that is coming in with my first grader, my third grader, and my middle schooler that I'm very worried about. And I want to know, I want the same security that Normandy gets when they walk through their school door.
We don't want black children in our white schools, yet we do nothing to better their communities. We prefer not thinking about them, keeping them invisible because we don't want to be accountable. Because we want to remain blind, we just notice the things that will benefit us. We look for minorities who can do our cheap labor. We flood their communities with drugs because we don't bring jobs to their communities. Then, when black people sell drugs as a last resort to get money, they're put in prison, either for life or when they get out, they go back again for they can get jobs because of their records. We have created the biggest disenfranchised group. This is a new Jim Crow. After we criminalize black and brown bodies, police officers judge them because of the color of their skin, and we think they're thugs because they live in the ghetto. Never mind that we put them there and judge them on where they live. Then, when the white police officer stops our black child, the child has to remember the conversation with his parents. Don't move and do everything the officer tells you. But when they stop them without motive, just because of the color of their skin, don't they have the right to be mad? Wait, don't move, I see a gun! The officer shouts without reason, and in television he says he was threatened. And when Star sees 115, she would ask him in her mind, do you wish you had shot me too? It's either the valid or the bullet, Malcolm X says, but at this point I don't see them voting because they are at the billion-dollar industry. I only see bullets, and the bullet seems to hit the black and brown bodies, the oppressed community. I see every day in the news how a police officer has killed another black child, and he ends up not being indicted. Star had to learn how to recite the Black Panther 10-point program. One of those points is, we want the immediate end to police brutality. She also had to learn Malcolm X's stance, complete freedom, justice, and equality by any means necessary. Black children learn the system of oppression against them at a young age, while white children learn the Pledge of Allegiance and the supposed meaning of what an American is, reminding me of Baldwin of how black bodies know their identities, while white individuals are searching for theirs at the cost of oppressing those who know. Nevertheless, we are all guilty of forming this racist system. This is a system that hates people of color, a system against black lives. That is thug life.